Thank you for that kind introduction. I am a neuroscientist, but I like to refer to myself as a DIY neuroscientist. So I like to do neuroscience experiments in my home, in my backyard. When I was in grad school, this is what I would do. I would record spikes. Spikes are the electric message. I think you have seen a few talks about that. When one neuron communicates to another neuron, it sends an electric message down its axon called a spike. And so when I was in grad school, I would do all these advanced recordings, but our equipment cost $40,000. And so we thought there was a better way to do it. And around that same time, I was going out into schools and sort of teaching a little bit how the brain works with kids. We put goggles on. They would learn that after a while, you know, that their cerebellum would sort of trick them because their prisms would go to the left, and they would try to throw a ball. You take the prism goggles off, and they would throw it, and they would go to the right. And then, so they could learn a little bit how the brain works. But I thought, and my business partner, Tim Marzullo, thought that this was a bit silly, because they're not really teaching exactly how the brain works. We're just showing some tricks that are happening because of the brain. And so we started out this project a number of years ago. It's called the $100 Spike. And so we tried to see if we could record a neuron for less than $100, just using some tools that we can gather from Radio Shack or from different parts from around our basements. And so this was the beginning of our project. So this is we didn't quite get it working at that time. We gave ourselves 3 months over the summer to record that, to record a neuron. And this is Tim and I back at that time when we were so young and naive that we could do it. But it actually turns out we could do it. And so about 2 weeks after this picture was taken, we were able to record our first spike. And so when at the same time I was publishing my papers in my PhD, people were like not responding back any questions about any of the cool, what I thought were cool papers I was publishing. No one really cared about. What they cared about was this little side project I was working on. I got 3 or 4 emails a week saying, hey, this is really cool. You know, can I have one too? And so we decided, you know, you got to start listening to what people are asking you about. So we decided to launch this company called Backyard Brains. And the goal was to do kind of what is done in astronomy right now. You can go to Target and buy a cheap kit, a telescope to look at the stars. The equivalent right now in neuroscience would be that you have to go to your PhD in astrophysics to be able to look through a telescope, which is silly because just like the computer revolution started with the first homebrew kit that was available for the public, we think the neural revolution will start when people can start doing neuroscience at the home, because one of the biggest diseases that are left today, like 1 out of 5 of us, is 20% of us will have a neurological disorder. So we need to get people out there that are starting to explore neuroscience. We can start this neural revolution. This is the products that we had. This is the evolution of the product. The very first one was number 1. We kind of moved all the way to the right. And we're going to show you a live demonstration today of the spiker box. So I'm going to need some help from the audience. I need someone who wants to be the anesthesiologist. Please raise your hand. All right, we got, what's your name? Ariel? So Ariel, you have to be very careful what you volunteer for. So,
I'm actually a neuroscientist.
Oh, cool. So are you an anesthesiologist?
I'm not. I don't want to be that boring in my life, except for today.
Alright. So this is not going to be as boring. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab this cockroach.
Awesome.
And you're going to... No. You're going to put him in this ice water. Alright, thank you very much. Alright, okay. So, why are we doing this? I said she was an anesthesiologist, correct? So, this cockroach is becoming anesthetized. And so, I don't know about you, but when I have surgery, I don't want to be awake for it. I think it's one of the biggest fears that are out there, waking up. And so, we don't want this guy to wake up during his surgery, because we're about to remove one of his legs so that we can listen to his neurons. But first of all, why is he following his leg? Right now, he's moving around a little bit. But in a few seconds, he'll be completely still, because he's cold-blooded, right? And so he's going to instantly become the same temperature as the water around him, as ice water. So his ion channels will start to slow down, and his neurons will stop firing, he'll stop moving, he'll stop feeling pain. So this is how we're actually going to knock him out. And I just realized I need to get one more tool here. So I need another volunteer. You got another one? Alright. the surgeon, the most important tool for the surgeon is the scalpel. So I need a neurosurgeon. Anyone in the audience want to be a neurosurgeon? Yes. What is your name, sir? Ben. Thank you for coming to the rescue. All right. So Ben, can you kick that guy out? All right. You just lay him right here on the table. So what I need you to do is I need you to cut the bottom leg off the cockroach. So I'm going to hold him here. So you notice he was moving fast before. He's no longer moving. So I'm going to hold this up. You can just sneak in there, kind of close to the body. Yeah, that's good. Just one false swoop. Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Ben. All right. Thank you for the nice round of applause for Ben. Was that your first neurosurgery? Yeah. Okay, cool. You've got 10 minutes. Perfect. So, the next thing we need is an electrophysiologist. Electrophysiologists are the ones that go into the hospitals. They put the grid if you're having a seizure to figure out where the foci is. So does anyone have one last volunteer? All right, thank you. So what we've done, we've placed the cockroach leg onto the top pad here. And I need you to take a pin and you're going to stick it right through this leg. I'll point to kind of in the general area, but right around here. Yeah. Perfect. Now take the other pin. You can plug it right back here somewhere. Okay. And just push it right through the cord. That's fine, as long as it's in that cockroach. Okay. So I'm just going to jump. Thank you very much. All right, so this is the electrophysiologist. So I just want to explain really briefly about this thing. So this is where we anesthetize the cockroach, we cut off the leg, we're going to put the leg on with these two pins. And so the reason why we're doing that is because we're going to be recording from the brain of the cockroach. So the cockroach has a brain just like we do, and he has groups of ganglia that kind of run up and down his spinal cord. It's just clumps of neurons that are clustered together. And also inside of his leg, which we just removed, there are also neurons, and these are sensory organs. So inside each one of the hairs or little pricklies that are on that leg, there's a neuron living in it, and that job is to sort of send information about touch up to the brain. So even though the leg is removed, it's still going to send that information, because this leg is going to be alive. Our record is up to 3 days. So this leg will be alive, it's going to be sending this information. We're going to be able to sort of listen to that neuron as it's sending the spikes from all the way to the brain, which is now living in this glass of water. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on, and I haven't tested this to see if it's a noisy environment, so bear with me. Okay, it's a little bit quiet, so I'm going to turn up the volume of this speaker. Switch over so you can see the camera. Okay. Okay, it's a little noisy, so I have a Faraday cage here. It's a DIY Faraday cage. So a Faraday cage, it's basically an electric shield that you can put around things when you're in noisy environments. So I haven't had a chance to check out this place, but with all the equipment, you're bound to have a little bit of noise. You need some help? I think I so let's go ahead and turn that on. Okay, so I'm going to see if I have any spikes. I'm going to take a piece of paper here, I'm going to brush this leg, and we're going to see if we have any action potentials. Yeah, we do. Okay, so hold on. Here, I'm going to put the microphone close to the speaker. So that popping you're hearing when I'm pushing down the leg are the action potentials, but it's kind of hard to hear, so I'm going to go ahead and plug in my iPad. We're going to be able to see what the spikes look like as well. 1,000 cables up here. And so, this is an application we wrote for students to basically understand how the brain works. For those that are familiar with how oscilloscopes work, this is just nothing but voltage across time. And right now it's picking up my voice, but as soon as I plug in the external microphone, it's no longer picking up my voice, but it will be picking up the cockroach. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. We're going to hear if we see a difference when I touch this leg. Alright, I'm going to hold up the microphone so you can hear it a little bit better. Does anyone hear that popping activity? It sounds like a little bit like, you know, like raindrops, or some people say it sounds like popcorn. So that's actually what one action potential or one spike sounds like when you listen to it in the brain. So I've got a little bit more time, so I'm going to try one last experiment. I need to have a volunteer who has an MP3 player with hip-hop songs on it. Anyone have an iPod? Alright, come on up here. I need to be quick because I think we're kind of running out of time. So the next thing I want to talk about is that the brain is not only receiving electrical activity from the outside sources, like from either your touch or your